Hello, here we are. It's Labor Day. My husband and I have a different idea about what that means. So I'm here playing Labor Day. That means I'm off my time of labor. You're gonna hear him. He's out there mowing the yard. I'm grateful he's not asking me to go out and help him with the yard. But we're gonna have some lawn mowing going on back there. So anyway, want to get right to this. I hope to be able to show you a couple of different things in some upcoming tutorials. Today, I have an order for this lovely chicken. I'm going to create this chicken today and, well, at least get it good and started today and show you the process so that you can all do one of these fun little guys too. I just love him. He's been sitting out in my garden on top of a flower pot. He's hollow. So on top of a flower pot sitting out in my garden all summer here in Mesa, and through all the monsoons, the rain and stuff that we've had. And look, he's done just really fine. I started him as an experiment in the spring, and I now know that this modeling compound works, and so now I'm going to show it to you. Our armature is going to be a ball. I went to the Dollar Tree, and you can use any round ball, but I like these inflatable ones. So you've seen a lot of lawnmower. You've seen a lot of cement creations made on balloons. The balloons are too fiddly for me. They're too soft. They move around too much. So I'm using these balls from the Dollar Tree that I can reuse because I can put a ball pump in here to let out the air, and I can pump this ball up again. So I don't know if any of you are like me, a little bit frugal. I know. Venna, it's only $1. I have a problem. So anyway, we're going to use this. And I'm setting this on top of just a ceramic bowl. Let's see. This one was made by my oldest daughter in high school. We've used it for, you know, doggy food dishes, and I don't know. But right now it's going to hold my ball. We are also going to use handy wipes. We don't want to use these to clean. No, this is art supplies. Get that brain shifting around, folks. Art supplies, not cleaning. I'm cutting the handy wipes up. Don't bring your good scissors outside with the idea of, oh, I just have one thing I need to cut up and then I'll put them away, because that won't happen. And then you have to go buy another pair of good scissors to keep in the house. Sometimes my daddy comes out of me. Any of you, your dads, or maybe you, using the kitchen knives as screwdrivers? Yeah, that was my dad. And I tend to do those same things. Anyway, so I'm going to take my handy wipes, cut them into strips, and then I'm just cutting those strips into thirds. So about so long. And this is going to be the armature for this chicken. So we're doing paper mache, except we're using fabric and we're using cement. That's what we're doing. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. As usual, since we're going to be mixing up some dry cement, we want to make sure that we are protecting ourselves. So we're going to wear our masks and our eye protection. My daughter, here we go. My oldest daughter sent me a text. Mom, are you using protection when you're working with your cement? Yes, honey, I am. Because why is she asking? Because she is starting a cement project. I'm rubbing off. And she read that you need to protect yourself. So she's checking in on me. If she were watching my YouTubes often enough, she'd know that I'm using. She's busy. She has 5 children. So here we go. Protection. You want to wear your mask. You want to wear your goggles, okay? We're going to mix up our cement. So I'm using a fast setting cement, which you know I absolutely love because I don't have patience for other stuff. I have quite a few orders to get made up. So I'm using a fast set cement. And so again, we want this really lovely kind of crepe batter consistency, not too thick. This is going to set really fast, so we gotta get on it. We gotta work. So I'm just going to take my handy wipes that I have cut up into these strips, dip it into the cement, and put it on my ball. That's it. And we're going to do that over and over until the ball is covered. I will probably put 2 layers on. This is also the strength of your project. And see, I'm overlapping. We want that overlapping to give the strength to the cement. All right, so I've got the whole ball layered with 2 layers of the handy wipes and cement. So now what I'm doing, see, we want to get kind of a nice smooth finish on it. So now what I'm doing is I've got my spray bottle. I'm going to spray this. And of course, you're doing this with protection on because you're going to take your dry cement and sprinkle it over. So let me get ready. Here we go. So we're just going to spray, and I'm tipping it on my bowl. Spray with water, and then the same fast setting cement that I was using as my paper mache, just going to sprinkle it over. I'm going to spray again, and you could go ahead and use wet cement, but it tends to run, and I don't want this to run. I want to be able to smooth it out. I'm having a mosquito problem, so these are little mosquito wristbands, but I'm wearing them on my ears because the mosquitoes buzzing around my... I got my long sleeves, my gloves, and my long pants, so I'm okay, except one got my lip, so that's what I'm doing. Anyway, enough with my problem. I've now put 1 layer of dry cement and water on this little guy, and I'm going to let that set just a bit where it's not shiny anymore. When it's not shiny anymore, I'm going to do another layer. Alright, so this is set. It's not completely dry, but it's set. So I'm going to do, this is the weed eater. I'm going to do another layer of the spray and the dry over this. All right, we're ready. Again, fast set. While it's still soft, because I didn't do this ahead of time, you'll want to make sure you're placing the holes for the legs for this little guy. I'm using leather straps for his legs. I have bits of leather sitting around my place. You could really use anything, but I use leather because I know it's going to stand outside for a long time. And so anyway, that's what I've got. You could use rope. I don't know, whatever else you think would work well. But you're going to want to place the holes. So while it's still wet and soft enough, I just used a screwdriver and kind of drilled my 2 holes here. If I want those bigger later, then I'll use a little hand drill to drill them out bigger. But now I've got those placed. So it's still cold, so that means it's not all set. I mean, it is set, but it's not completely dry yet. But it is firm enough It doesn't push in any spaces, so it doesn't have any soft, weak spots. And so now I'm going to take my ball pump needle, and again, if you don't care to reuse this again, just stab it with a pair of scissors, poke a hole in it. I hope to reuse it again, and so I'm just going to put my needle in there, and that makes the air, of course, release, and I'll be able to reuse this ball again several times. I'm hoping to get a few orders for this chicken, so I want to get good value out of this dollar ball. I've stopped asking what's wrong with me. Too many people are telling me what's wrong with me. All right, there we go. Yay! And again, I'm using a ball because a balloon just doesn't stand up to the weight of the cement that's going on it, and it kind of gets wonky and a little misshapen. And so that's why I use the rubber balls, because they've got a lot more strength to them. So here it is, all empty. And so what I am going to do now, though, just for the inside, remember that's just the handy wipes dipped in cement, and I want to add a little more strength to those handy wipes inside there. You can't see them. So I'm going to mix up another batch of the cement, a nice thin slurry of it, and I'm going to pour it in here and roll it around the inside to give it one more coat. And then that's all I'm going to do to this. This guy is, when he gets completely ready, I mean, he is ready. I could build this chicken on him right now. It's very exciting. So anyway, here we go. So we've got the same consistency as we had for our paper mache, and I'm just pouring this whole thing right in there. I added to the water, I added this acrylic bonding adhesive so it would stick inside there, since that cement was already set up a little bit, so just to make sure it gets good adhesion. So I don't know if you could see, can I demonstrate this in a way you can see it? So I'm just rolling this around inside. Getting it covered inside there really good. I'm just going to keep rolling it and rolling it and rolling it until it doesn't roll anymore. And I want most of it down here at the bottom, so the weight, more of that weight is in the bottom. And this will start to set as I'm moving it. Poured it in there, and now I'm going to flip this over on my tabletop. So I flipped it over on my plastic sheeting on my table, and that's going to continue to kind of drip down. All right, so we're making the chicken, so let's not get distracted here. But I'm just saying, as I'm creating this little body for the chicken, if I were to turn it this way, are any of you seeing a flower pot? Right? And so you could add legs, you could add a base, and here you go. You could paint it up and make a really pretty little flower pot for your outside. So I'm just showing you the way I'm making this chicken, but this method could be used to make all kinds of things. Continue on with it. It's going to be, if you wanted to have one of those garden balls, so you could add mosaics to it. You could do anything to this little sphere here. So, but I'm not going to get distracted. I'm making the chicken. Okay, so I've got the chicken body all set, and like I told you, I have the holes placed here for my legs. I've gone ahead and put my leather straps in. What I'm using, I get at the, well, I have a very special craft store here that's not, you know, one of the national chains, but anyway, I'm just using just strips of leather that I found. I get it in bulk at my craft store here in Mesa. So if you're here in Mesa, I've been getting this at the Arizona Gift Center out on East Main Street in Mesa. But really, if you've got access to any leather straps or stripping, you could also use, it comes on a spool from Tandy Leather, right? The leather lace. You could braid it to make thicker legs. So, you know, kind of think outside the box if you don't have access to the leather strippings. But this is what I put. I've gone ahead and put it inside. I just tied a knot, poked it through, tied a nice knot. It's in there. It's not going anywhere. And then there you go. So my next thing that I'm going to do for this guy, you can leave him just like this if you want to. It's up to you. This one is for sale, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off the bottom by just putting a cement cap over the top of this. I wanted it to be nice and flat so it would sit. Myself, if I were to keep this for me, like my one here I've got, I kept it hollow, but it doesn't matter how you do it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cement seal or base on this so it'll sit nice and flat for the customer that I'm making this for. So I'm going to show you how. Anyway, but what I've got going here, and again, if any of you have a better idea, please share with the rest of us. Don't keep it to yourself. But this is what I'm going to do to put the little bottom base on my chicken. So what I've got here, I've got my turntable with one of those lovely dollar store cutting mats, and I've mixed up my cement, the fast set cement that I've been using all morning, but I've made it and I let it sit for just a few minutes to get stiff, just like that. Letting it get stiff, and then I'm just going to pat it out the size I want. Talk about playing in the mud. Look at that. Woo! All right, get a grip, Benna. Okay, and I'm just gonna, and if I work it just right, I've got the consistency stiff enough where it will kind of stay the way I want it, just like that. And I've made it just big enough around to fit the bottom of my chicken. And I'm just gonna press it down. Just like that. So now it's sitting on top of that. Now I can just smooth it up the sides a bit, just so it's all blended together. I'm going to use a little bit of water to dampen the sides of my pot and body. And then you can see I'm just going to smooth this around. So it'll look kind of nice and finished. Okay, so this base of this chicken has had time to completely solidify. Not completely cured, but it is all solidified. I'm going to take it off this little mat. Using this, these lovely Dollar Tree mats is so amazing. It just, see there? Came right off. Now I'm going to do some sanding to smooth this off. I'm going to do that outside with my mask on and get that rounded off and smoothed off, but that's going to sit right there with his little leg. The fun part is about to begin. All right, so we're back. Going to be working on our little fat chicken. I'm going to finish this project so I can get this video out to all of you guys out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some plaster Paris clay, and again, all this is, here's the little feet. these feet are actually going to go on this chicken. This is plaster of Paris. This right here. Plaster of Paris and white glue. That's all it is. Mix it up into a soft clay. I put some Vaseline on my hand so I can work it, and it does just a really great job. I use water to make it all stick together and smooth it out, and I'm having fun with this mixture. So we're going to do that right now. And now I'm putting the Vaseline on because I'm getting ready to show you what this looks like. So here it is in the bowl, and again, it's just Elmer's glue and the plaster of Paris, and so you can see it's a little sticky. So if we use some petroleum jelly, that helps us be able to work it. And we do want it this pliable, where it's still a little bit sticky, and it will set. It's plaster of Paris. This will set very quickly. So I only make up this much at a time. So this is about 1 cup of plaster of Paris, a quarter to a half a cup of the glue with a splash of water if I think I need it. And this is enough to do quite a bit. This amount right here did his little collar. And this amount went ahead and did his head. This amount did his feet. So what I've done is gone ahead and put an aluminum foil armature under here. I hot glued it to the cement body, and then I used this plaster and covered the cement that we had here, and I've gone ahead and put the collar and the head here just using this clay. And so we're going to go ahead and put the features on. I've started the little tail back here. It's still a little damp. And so I'm going to finish putting the tail feathers on. And again, I just use some water and a paintbrush. That chicken, this is the process I use. And he's been out in my garden under the sprinklers. The sprinklers go off twice a day. In the heat sun, heat of the Mesa, Arizona sun. And then in this September, our August-September monsoon season was outrageous this year. It was lovely to get all that rain, and he has just stood there so nicely. So I know that he is working, and so that's why I'm excited to show you this little method here. I keep my fingers wet so I can smooth out. We don't want to see where this is joining together. I want it to be very seamless. So a little water will help us do that. Kind of mold this around just where you want it. And it's going to start to set and hold itself up. The reason I'm doing this chicken with the plaster, I just wanted to try new modeling and sculpting compounds that are waterproof so that I can make yard art. Because my house is too small for all my art inside. I need to have a place for it outside. But this little guy is actually an order. So someone saw him on my Instagram and asked if I could make one for her. So I am. So this one's going to have a new home in a couple of weeks. Tail feathers on. So you can see my work time with this plaster of Paris is about 20 minutes before it starts getting too hard to manipulate. And so that's why it's best just to use small batches. See, we just finished this one. That one I did about 30 minutes ago. This one is the one I just finished, and here's another one we're just finishing up. So these are the tail feathers. Just kind of making sure it's on there really good. That legs. Get his legs out from under him. There we go. And now we still have enough play time in this piece right here to go ahead and let's go ahead and put the little comb on. Just kind of manipulate it around in your hand to get it nice and soft again. The smoother it is when we put it on our little chicken here, the less work we have to do with it later. So, moving on, mixing up some more clay. Okay, I've got my next little batch of clay made up here. I add a little glue to the water I'm using. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and put the beak on. Now I'm putting the smile on. So I'm just taking my little tool and dragging it from the cheek to just under the beak. And I'm going to open it up here. Now we've got a smiling chicken. And again, I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to see and I can see. All right, here we go. Just a nice little line. There we go. There we go. Yay! Now we need to put the eyeballs on. We're just about there. Woohoo! Okay. Need some eyeballs. Okay, and I'm just going to use a little paintbrush and to put the holes in for his eyes. This is where I have a little trouble making them always line up. So if any of you have a trick for that, I'd be happy to hear it. But I try to eyeball it. I try to eyeball it so that they look even, but then after they always seem to be just a little off. I'm going to go with this. All right. Now we'll make sure that those are stuck on good. All right, we have one last thing to put on our little chicken here, and that's the little red, I don't know what they're called, the little wobble things down on his chin. So I'm taking some little, it's starting to get a little stiff, so we're gonna work it just to get the last, there we go. Oh no, I forgot, we have to put wings on it too. It needs wings. Alright, ready with I've got the clay for the wings. You wouldn't have to put wings on them. It's not like chickens fly, they don't go anywhere. Our neighbor has chickens, and this was so cool. One of the big Rhode Island red chickens came over the wall in between our yards and came into our yard. And this was so cool. We went and let her know that one of her chickens had gotten out and was in our backyard. And we have a nice big brick wall all the way around our property. And so he was perfectly safe. And what was so interesting is she came out, and from the front yard, she called this chicken, and it went up over the roof and went down. And she just picked it up and carried it home. I never saw anything like that. Anybody out there have chickens and chickens do that? That was so interesting for me to see. I had no idea that chickens would actually come when you call them like that. I wish my children did. All right, so here I'm going to go ahead and put this wing on, and I'm just following the outline of his little collar there. It's like the wing is just underneath, like so. And there's nothing fancy about it. I just pat it on and give it a little, I'm looking at my other chicken over there, how I did his wing. Just give it a little push up in there like that. I don't know why, just a little interest, I guess. Again, I'm not a sculptor. I have no idea about the anatomy of a chicken. It's just whatever is in here, I try to make it come out here and be fun. That's all I'm going for, is fun. There we go. Look at that. Nice. I'm gonna finagle it. It's more back there. And there we go. That's our chicken. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and learning another modeling compound that you could try out. This modeling compound could be used on the gnomes. I've got the paper Creed on this one, but I'm getting ready to do some other gnomes here. This modeling compound could be used on the pine cone gnomes. So if you're choosing to go that route, it's just another thing to use. I like this because it does sand out, and it does start out rather smooth. So the smoother the finish I can get on my object, I know the smoother the paint application is going to be with less sanding. So again, you're using plaster Paris, so please make sure when you're using it in the powder form that you're using your face mask. When you sand plaster Paris or cement, you want to make sure you're outside ventilated area and using your mask. It's still those dust particles. So I want you to be safe as you're creating and enjoying making these fun little guys. Back like with our little chicken. Going to finish this guy up. So you saw that we put all of the plaster on the outside of him. I spent some time getting him painted. The paint I'm using, you can use an outdoor paint. Again, that's what I've used in the past. Deco Art patio outdoor paint. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting this chicken, putting all of the paint on his body. We're going to paint his feet, and then this little guy is going to be done, and I'll be able to take him to his new home. So this one's for an order. So as you all know, when I paint, I kind of get into a zone. You might not hear from me while I'm doing this. So anyway, let's get busy. Here we are in my garden. Here's my chicken, the one I made way last spring. Here's the one I just created and just finished. for an order. I'm ready to pack this up and be able to send him out to his new home. Thank you so much for viewing my videos. I hope you're finding them valuable and useful. I hope you find some inspiration to go out and create something of your own, even if it's not cement or concrete, outdoor art. Just what can you create today? Maybe you're into poetry or writing or music or cooking, right? Find some time in your day to create a little something. It does make you feel good. It's nice to have something on the planet that didn't exist there before. Kind of fun. So have a great day. Thanks so much.